with us. Firstly, the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. D.D. Mabuza, Mr. David Mabuza, the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Rural Development, who's standing in for the acting Premier, MEC Bongi Stole Muloi, the Chairperson of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Koskazi N. Mhlawuli, the Provincial Chairperson of the House of the Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Chairperson Inkosi Shinga, the Deputy Chairperson of the Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Inkosi NSW Stole, Deputy Minister Skwacha, Deputy Minister Sochi, Deputy Minister Bopela, Deputy Minister I'm not sure whether she's here. I haven't seen her. And Dr. Nkabani, I'm not sure whether she has arrived. Okay, but we then have Deputy Minister Chwete. All Deputy Ministers, you are warmly welcome. We have MECs, MEC Dr. Mahlaba for Human Settlement and Public Works in KwaZulu Natal. I'm not sure whether the Chief Whip of eThekwini has arrived, but we are expecting to be joined by the Chief Whip of eThekwini, Councillor Ntuli, Department of Traditional Affairs, Dr. Dipofa, all senior officials. Among us also there are members of the media, and you are all introduced. All may I then call Max on behalf of the acting Premier of the province, MEC Muloi.
My colleague MEC Zigalala for Corporate Government and Traditional Affairs. Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. D.D. Mabuza, I greet you. The Minister of Culture, Dr. N. Dlamini Zuma. Chairperson of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Koskazi N. Mhlawuli. Chairperson of the Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Inkosi R.S. Shinga. Deputy Chairperson of the Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Inkosi NSW Stole. Deputy Ministers, Deputy Minister Skwacha, Deputy Minister Soju, Deputy Minister Bopela, Deputy Minister Chwete, MEC for Human Settlement and Public Works, Dr. N. Mahlaba, MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, Ms. A. Bani Mapena, the Chief Whip of eThekwini Metro, Councillor Ntuli, and all ESCO members of the Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, amakhosi wonke aseNdungulu akhona phakathi kwethu, siyawabingelela sikhuleka ngokuthobeka. The Director Generals, the National Director General from Traditional Affairs, Mr. D. Dipofa, Director General of KwaZulu Natal, Dr. Nonhlanhla Mkhize, and all senior government officials present from all offices being represented in this meeting, the members of media, ladies and gentlemen. Program Director, let me start by thanking you for giving me this opportunity to say a few words of welcoming as we commence the business of this important gathering. With the passing of Isilo Samabandla, Obejane Pumeskolweni, Onyaga, Odlule, Gomash, that was such a painful and a shocking moment of our time. Siqala nokuthi ke sehlelo leso setho sokuthi lishone ilanga sikhona singakaze sibone ngaphambilini njengabaphathi abakhona ngesikhathi salesi administration. Kwaba into enzima kakhulu, sazibona siphelelwe engathi liphelile umhlaba usiphelele lisishonele sisehlathini. Ubuhlungu esabuzwayo ngenxa yalokho kwangagcina lapho kwaphinda futhi kwathi i-succession ebikhona yahe Mabuza i-regent owayekhona nayo futhi wadlula emhlabeni. Saphelelwa ukuthi kanti kwenzeke kanjani. Isikhathi lesasinzima kithina njengesifundazwe kakhulu ngoba saphinde lishone futhi sathi sithi liyaphakama liphinde lishone, kodwa ke sithi ke noma kunjalo asiphelanga amandla. Zonke lezi zehlo azisezange ukuba siphelelwe uqhubekela phambili. Siyafuna uqala ngazo His Excellency Deputy President ukuba sizisho ngoba asikaze sibe nethuba lokuba sihlanganyele kanje ukhona, amakhosi asendlule khona, sonke siphelele nendlunkulu yonke ikhona, ukuba sisho ukuthi nathi sashaqeka kakhulu, kodwa siyabonga ukuthi ke uma nje ukhona esikwenzayo ukuqhubekela phambili. Siyafuna futhi ukuthi singabi khona lokubodwa okuphosayo nakhona ukuthula esifundazweni sakithi. As a country, we survived because we are a democratic nation that has been able to successfully infuse our constitutional state with the best values of our traditional and local government practices. Today, we are rejoicing that the roots of our kingship remain culture and norms. These coexist in a partnership that is meant to place the people of this country at the center of development and to do everything to better their lives. To affirm the importance of the institution of traditional leadership in our democracy. In June this year, we welcome a re-establishment of our House of Traditional Leaders in KwaZulu Natal, which is in line with the law that restores the legitimacy and dignity of the institution. Chapter 12 of the Constitution of the Republic of 2003, the National Framework Act on Traditional Leadership and Governance Act has been the basis for. With the establishment of this house, Amakosi has now assumed their legitimate roles as development champions to register our firm belief that our tradition by the people it serves. This system democracy is developed to the level that is closest to the people, and the institution of traditional leaders enables the involvement of all, especially those in rural areas without regards to class or affiliation. This move places the institution of traditional leadership in a good position to champion rural development and to play their part in addressing unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Here in KwaZulu Natal, we guard jealously the institution of traditional leaders whose head is His Majesty King Misuzulu KwaZulu. Working with Isilo, Amakosi, national and provincial COPTAM, and the local spheres of government, we will continue to promote spatial equity and integrated land use management as a means of guiding the allocation and utilization of financial, human, and environmental resources towards balanced urban and rural development. Indeed, we wish to as a key to the soul of our nation and an unbroken link to our ancestral roots and our route to solid future. It is for this reason that we adopt Goal 7 of the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy, emphasizing the need to spatial equity to ensure that rural areas are fully necessary support to the houses and effective and traditional. Welcome, as we are welcome, Deputy President Didi Mabuza, together with the Minister of Cooperative Government and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. This symbolic relationship between tradition and modernity that form the solid base for our democratic system. We trip not only to listen to grievances and matters of mutual interest, but to seek your wise counsel on matters affecting the institution, and that the occasion will be conducted in a spirit of cordiality with a view to so in the interest of the people of our province. With these words, I would like to welcome you all in this historical gathering in kungabi ukuthi ukuzosihlukanisa kakhulu kodwa zonke ingqinamba esibhekene nazo sizikhulume ngenhloso yokuba sakhe sibumbane sikwazi ukuthi kube nokuthula kwisifundazwe sakithi ngoba isifundazwe sinokuthula sizokwazi ukuthi siqhubekele phambili. Siyabonga kakhulu umphathi wohlelo for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Sibonga kakhulu. Let's give her MEC Masithole Mloyi a big round hand of applause. Siyabonga. Ngicela ukuxolisa la. Angazi ukuthi mina nje mfoka Mphemba wenza iphutha ngoba ufake neshirt elimhlophe. Uma ubungafakanga into egqamile bengingathi mhlambe kube ukuthi ibala on your side. Ngiyaxolisa kakhulu. The Chief Whip of eThekwini. May I also further introduce those who have joined us. We have been joined by MEC Mapena, MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture. We have been joined by Deputy Minister Dr. Nkabane from the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. With that, we are going to proceed to a part where we will get the opening remarks, and those opening remarks will be also reflecting on the purpose of this meeting. And as we know, this is a trail, a program led by the national government, spearheaded by the Deputy President. Asibona bokuqala ukuthi ahlangane nabo useyile kwezinye ifundazwe nalanga kaye khona akhosi nokubika ekutheni izinto ezibikelwe unational government ezithinta ubukhosi nemsebenzi yonke esiyenza ngaphansi kobukhosi zisingathwa kanjani. So Deputy President uzozake, he is not new, akamusha. He has been in the array of activism in shaping the landscape of South Africa as umsebenzi engutisha and as the MEC for Agriculture, as well as the Premier of Mpumalanga Province. Let's all stand and welcome the Deputy President, His Excellency, Mr. Mabuza.
Ngiyabonga, singahlala phansi. Mphathi wohlelo, thank you very much. Ngethuba ongipha lona MEC Zikalala. Zwile nje namhle kuseni ukuthi unochuku. Zwile ukuthi unochuku. Manje Sizakwenza njengoba ucelile. Asithathe lethuba sibingelele uActing Premier uMama uMloyi. Ngibingelele uMinister uDlamini Zuma. Ngibingelele bonke abo Deputy Ministers abakhona. Namhla ke were full strength. Amanye amalanga ngihamba nje noBaphela, ngihambe noSquash. Sengiyaniceba nje ninabanye ukuthi hayi amanye amalanga niyangilahla nje. But ngiyajabula ukuthi nikhona la ekhaya namhla. Angi recognize bonke abo MEC, recognize no Chief Whip. Sithemba ukuthi awuphathanga isithwebu sakho namhla. Umama uMhlawuli usihlalo wendlu kuNational, siyabonga mama ukuthi ube khona. Usihlalo we-Provincial House ubaba uShinga naye uDeputy Chairperson. Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi nibe khona nawo wonke amakhosi akhona ngaphakathi kwethu. Asithathe lethuba sibonge iprovince ngokuthi namakhosi siyalibonga ke ithuba Acting Premier no MEC zikalala ukuthi i-meeting enje ibe possible. Size la sizobamba umhlangano. Savakashela isilo. Sisitholile ke isilo samukeleka kahle. Ngenjabulo enkulu. Lapha yana kwakhangela amankengane. Sifike besilindile basijabulele kakhulu. Siyabonga ke kusilo futhi ngako konke abakwenzile ukusamukela. Umlayezo esudlulisile esizweni nakusilo ukuthi siyabonga yonke imizamo eniyenzile ningamakhosi ukuthi nize nifike la nikhona khona. Sibonile ke isilo sibekiwe. Manje ke sokuyisikhathi sokuthi sichubekele phambili. Sisebenze. Futhi ke sisingathi isilo. Sibambisane naso. Sishilo ke kithi ukuthi sizimisele ukusebenza nohulumeni, sibheke zonke indaba eziphathelene nabantu abaphila ngaphansi kwaso isilo. We are very inspired by his dedication to tackling all community development challenges. Uvumile ke ukuthi sizobambisana naye ukuya phambili. Saphinde ukuthi sixoxe safika phi. Simnikezile ke umlayezo womhlangano esibe nawo lapha besikhuluma ngecommunal land. Sizamnikeza futhi nereport. Kodwa ke sahlangana nomntwana kaphinda ngene. Baba uThelisi. Naye ke wasinikeza ke indaba eziningi. Abona ukuthi kufanele sizibheke eziphathelene namakhosi kuzwe lonke. Manje ke ikopi le sizoyishiya ku MEC uzikalala. Siyishiye futhi na ku Premier esinikezwe yona lapha kusilo. Ngicabanga ukuthi i-guidance enhle le asinikeze yona umntwana. Nama issues okufanele siwabheke. Amanye nje siwakhuluma vele naye so emotional. Ngoba uthi ke sokuthatheka isikhathi eside. Lokhu lezinto zikhulunywa zingenzeki. Manje ke simthembisile ukuthi hayi cha zozinaka ke lezinto lezo. Waphinda ke wakhuluma futhi ngendaba yeNgonyama Trust. Wathi akasizwa kahle. Namhla siyale, namhla sikhuluma ukuthi thina siwuhulumeni asinayo inkinga yeNgonyama Trust. Ngoba iNgonyama Trust yakhiwe ngokuvumelana ngobukhosi bonke nabantu abangaphansi kobukhosi. Asikho isicathulo esizosifitha sonke. It can't be one size fit all. Ngoba abanye bagcoka size 6, abanye bagcoka size 7, abanye bagcoka size 8. Uma umuntu agcoka size 8 umbese umnika size 6 uzompintsha. Manje ke ekugcineni sizowalalela amakhosi, sizobalalela futhi abantu abaphila ngaphansi kwamakhosi. Kodwa sibhekelene nako ukuthi umhlaba lo ongaphansi kwenu, lo mhlaba lo kufanele ukuthi usetshenziswe. Kufanele silime, sikhiqize ukudla ukuze silwe nendlala. Uhulumeni ke uzimisela ukuthi abambisane nani ukunisupport ukuthi umhlaba lo niwulime, nitshale kulowo mhlaba, nilwe nendlala ukuthi ukudla okusalayo nokuthengisa nibe nemali eningaziphilisa ngayo. Manje ke namhla sihlangene ke nani makhosi, siyabonga ngelanga eli1. Kuyijeni nje. Namhla sizolungisa lenkingi, kusasa silungise leya, ngelinye ilanga silungise inkinga enye futhi. Kodwa ukusebenzisana nani kubaluleke kakhulu. Abantu bakithi ke lapha nihlala khona banethemba lokuthi njengani ningabaholi nizokhuluma indaba ezibahluphayo futhi sisebenze ukuthi silungise indaba zabo. There is that general expectation from our people ukuthi uhulumeni nabaholi bethu bendabuko bazosebenza banake izinto esikhala ngazo. Nithina ke suhulumeni sizosiqinisa isandla samakhosi sisebenze nawo ukuze zonke izinto abantu abakhala ngazo zilunge. Niyakwazi ke ukuthi abantu abahlala emakhaya basesemuva kancane. Abanye abanazo indlela eziya ezikoleni, eziya emakliniki. Abanye abanawo amanzi. Ziningi nje izinto abasalele emuva ngazo abantu abaphila ngaphansi kwamakhosi. Manje ke kuyafanele ukuthi uma sikhuluma ngezinto ezi-affect amakhosi bese sikhuluma futhi nezinto ezi-affect abantu abahlala ngaphansi kwamakhosi. kukhona ke umnotho okhona lapha yana endaweni yamakhosi ikakhulu lapha KwaZulu Natal ngoba sinomlando omuhle sinendawo eziphakeme ngokomlando kodwa ke kufanele ukuthi le ndawo lezi sizinakekele futhi senze sure ukuthi abavakashi bayeza la bavakashela indawo lezi bese basishela imali la. We've got a very rich heritage okuzafanele ukuthi siyibambe ngezandla zombili namasiko wethu abantu abavela kwezinye indawo bayawathanda amasiko wethu asisebenziseni lokhu esinako ukuthi senze umnotho walapha eThekwini edolobheni awungeke ufane nomnotho wasekhaya ngoba ekhaya ke kunezinto different eziheha abantu ukuthi baye khona emakhaya funa sikwazi ukubaheha abantu beze kithi bangabalekele edolobheni ngoba kube nezindawo esizibekayo esizinakekelayo ukuthi abantu bazivakashele. Ngiyathemba ukuthi amakhosi azoyinakekela iheritage neculture yethu. Manje ke abantu abahlala ngaphansi kwethu kube neyinkinga eziningi eziba confrontayo. Kube khona ukuhlukunyezwa kwabomama, ukubulawa kwabomama, kube khona ukubulawa kwamakhosi nezinduna, kube khona ukubulawa kwabantwana bamantombazana behlukunyezwa abantu abathandana nabo. Kube khona nje ukucashazwa kwamalungelo abantwana. Abantwana sebatholakala bekhulelwe babancane nje. Ziningi ke izinto ezenzeka emiphakathini yethu engaphansi kwamakhosi okufanele ukuthi sisukume siyisizwe silwisane nalezi zinto lezi. Lezi zinto lezi ngeke zenzeke egameni leculture yethu, egameni letradition yethu, ngoba itradition yethu itradition enhle ehambisana nobunye nokuhlonipha abanye abantu. Lokho esikubonayo ke okucikelela phansi amalungelo abanye abantu kufanele sisukume singamakhosi sikulwise lokho. Lapha ke nina nibe nenhlanhla ukuthi isilwe sekhothama sasihambela ngaphambili silwe ne-TB, simbonile hambe phambili elwa ne-HIV and AIDS, elwa nazo zonke izinto ezihlukubeza abantu. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi kuyofanele sihambe kulezo nyathelo zakhe. Isilo ke uMisizulu sizibophelele ukuthi sizawuhamba ezinyatheleni zesilwe esakhothama. Nathi ke siyazibophelela ukuthi indlela iqalile sizoyihamba sibambisene nani. Kodwa asikulwise konke lokho kwenzekayo emiphakathini yethu. Sicabanga ukuthi sikufanele sakhe isizwe esibumbene, isizwe esingabandlululi ngobulili, isizwe esingabandlululi ngebala, isizwe esihlangene okungakhathalekile ukuthi wena usupporta yiphi political organization, kodwa kube isizwe esibambene esiphakamisela phambili inkululeko. Manje ke ningibona ngemva kwendaba eziningi lapha amakhosi esukuma ekhuluma ukuthi cha kunezinto ezisihluphayo. Sicela ukuthi lezi zinto zinakwe sekudala sikhuluma ngalezi zinto lezi. Wabe ke upresident wabe sowakha ikomiti esibiza ukuthi interministerial task team. Wabe sowubeka uDeputy President ukuthi akahole le committee. Injongo yale committee ukuthi kuqokelelwe zonke indaba amakhosi ebelokhu ezikhuluma. Siphinde siye kuwo futhi amakhosi siwezwe uma kukhona enye indaba esele ayifaka amakhosi. Sesihambile ke ama-province amaningana senza lowo msebenzi. Indlela yokusebenza ukuthi hayi indaba eso izodilwa uminister ofana nalo, indaba eso izawuba la, indaba eso izawuba la. Nizonikezwa leyo report namhla. Kukhona ke iprogress eyenzekayo, kodwa siyafuna ukuthi sihambe ngokusheshsha. Sicela ukuthi amakhosi angamdikili uhulumeni, ningatheni your back against uhulumeni. Siyacabanga ukuthi kuzolunga njengoba lo president ngeke futhi ngibafeyile abantu base South Africa namakhosi. Inkinga zenu zizolunga. Ngifuna nje ukuthi amakhosi azi ukuthi emhlabeni kuya prioritize ukuthi asiqaleni ngalokho, senze lokho, senze lokho, senze lokho. Uma siqhubeka sisebenza singabakhohlwi abantu balapha sihlala khona. Manje ke kunehlelo elenziwe upresident ukuthi lapha endaweni enihlala khona kube khona igameko eziningi ukuthi abantwana bayashona uma bewela umfula. Wathi upresident kufanele kwakhe wonke ama-bridge aye esikolweni, aye clinic lapha endaweni zamakhosi. Lo msebenzi loyo uyaqhubeka. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi bazoreporta la. Kukhona okwenzekayo. Angeke ukuthi kwenzeke ngepace enifuna ngayo, kodwa kukhona okwenzekayo. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi sizoyinyusa ipace esihamba ngayo, sisheshe. Indaba yokuthi nithina ukuthi cha asikhulumisaneni uma kunezinto ezisiphatha kabi. This time siyazibophelela ukuthi uma ngabe kukhona into enishilo, ngakho ke ekugcineni kwako konke sifuna ukuthi neprovince ithathe bambe iqhaza, kube nazo inkinga ezizoxazululwa iprovince. Ngikhuluma ke ngoba nami ngike ngasebenza eprovincini. Ngiyazi ukuthi zikhona izinto ezingaxazululwa iprovince. So iprovince kufanele nayo izibophelele mina ke ngisese upremier. Amakhosi ngawathengela imoto. Mina ngawathengela amatrekera amakhosi atalime. Futhi amakhosi ngawafuyisela ngeinkomo mina. Mamkhosazana ngakwenza ngiyiprovince. So ubaba uzikalala ngahlulwa yini? Angahlulwa yini? Iprovince ngahlulwa yini? Uzafanele yenze njalo iprovince. Yenze njalo suka la namhla. Ngizofuna ukuthi nibe nomhlangano nobaba uzikalala nopremier. Ya bese niyakhuluma ukuthi itrekeri itholakala nini? ngifuna ukuthi athi mina uPrima athi mina ngiphethe imali engaka ngicela ungezelele la kule mali bese ngithola lokho angeke sihlale sikhuluma singenzi we must do and it's possible labantu laba uma singahloniphi bona asizihloniphi thina ngoba sizalwa ngaphansi kwabo yebo uma ungahlonipha amakhosi awuzihloniphi inkosi manje ke uma sizokhuluma nani kufuna nani nisithembe ukuthi cha labantu bayasihlonipha lokho esivumelana ngako bazokwenza cha this time around things must change kodwa nina le government ophethe niyamazi ukuthi ubuyaphi angeke phela nani bese niyajika endleleni lo government sesiyamshiya lo abanye bangithembisile bathi thina lo government we-ANC siyamlahla thina hawu nayilahla kanjani igovernment ye-ANC phela sazalwa kini thina le ANC okukhulunywa ngayo yazalwela ebukhosini manje ngajika kanjani nje endleleni sijika ngokuthi asikhona ukukhulumisana cha uma ngabe kukhona abantu abathembisa izinto zingenzeki sokuphelile lo konke esizokuthembisa kuzowenzeka kodwa sawuthatha step by step this time around and mina iprovince ngiyayithemba ke iprovince isebenzile namakhosi kukhona okuningi engikubonayo eprovincini ukuthi cha kuhamba kahle kukhona okusalela emuva futhi indlela nina la eprovincini eniphethe ngayo isilo ngiyayijabulela mhlambe kusafuna senze okunye okuningana isilo sisihloniphe siwahloniphe namakhosi kodwa ningcono kakhulu kunamanye ama-province ngcono kakhulu abanye nje kuyakhalwa amakhosi awanakekelwa this time around upresident ukhethe thina ukuthi sidile neyinkinga zenu sizawubuyela kuye simtshele ukuthi cha nazi izinto ezifunekayo upresident uzasipha imali siqale ngalokho sikulungise size ngalokho sikulungise size ngalokho sikulungise ngamlahla uhulumeni lo sebenzani naye namlahla uhulumeni wesifunda siyazibophelela kini ukuthi sosebenza nani izolo ke umntwana ungitshele ihistory yakhe umntwana kaphinda ngene lokhu wakwenza la KwaZulu Natal wawethunyiwe labo bebenami izolo bamzwile bengacala ukuyikhuluma le ndaba le uyayikhuluma futhi akhuluma abuyele kuleyo ndaba bese ngiphetha nje ngithanda ukuthi simbonge umntwana thina besimbona kumabona kude eloku ezama ukuxazulula inkinga ezikhona endlunkulu ngicabanga ukuthi uhambile nendlunkulu waphuma esimeni besisibi kakhulu ngibona ngathi manje sesilungele ukuthi siye phambili ichaza alidlalile asilibongeni simbonga umuntu nje asaphila ukuthi ulikhulumile iqiniso ulisebenzele futhi iqiniso namanje usamele iqiniso ayikho futhi into ayifihlayo yonke into uyikhuluma sobala nje simbongile ke izolo uma simbonile sithi futhi asithathe lethuba simbonge asaphila abantu ke basemhlabeni ba very unfair bavama ukubonga sowufile bakhuluma izinto abangakaze bakutshele zona uma uphila. Manje thina siyamtshela ke asaphila. Kuzathi ke uma siqedile sesihamba, iprovince izohlangana nani. Kunama issues eniwaraisile enizowaraiza today. Ama issues abhekene neprovince azosala neprovince. Ama issues abhekene no national ngizohamba nawo. Kodwa ngizofuna ukwazi ukuthi iprovince iqhubeka kanjani ukusolva lawo ma issues. Now uma senibiza umhlangano MEC zikalala, uma nihlangana namakhosi sizobathumela abo MEC babe ingxenye abo deputy minister babe ingxenye yenu ezibhekene neprovince. Futhi ke kuwo wonke ama work stream esiwenzile siyafuna ukuthi iprovince ibe nesandla nayo ingene, so that uma kukhulunywa indaba le yaphezulu nani nazi ukuthi kukhulunywa ngani, ngoba ezinye indaba ze-affectani. Ngiyacela ukuthi sisebenzisane ngaleyo ndlela. Ngiyalibonga ke ithuba enisiphe lona today ukuthi sikhulumisane nani. Ngibonge kakhulu neprovince ukuthi si-arrangele lo mhlangano. Siyabonga.
Masibonge kakhulu, sicele ukuthi sishaye izandla ezinkulu sibonga inkulumo esinikezwa usekela mongameli ubaba uMabuza. Masimuphe izandla ezinkulu. Sihlalo Nkosi uShinga, I'm sure uzovumelana nami ukuthi hayi uDeputy President uhambe emazwini ethu, ngoba sivumelene ngokuthi thina la masithola nje uhlahlo mali la kwa traditional affairs siyalithatha silethe emakhosini sithi nansi imali sisinikwe, bese sivumelana ukuthi senze njani. Uma nje kunganeli ushilo kuDeputy President, maske sabeka nje ukuthi hey nalo hlahlo mali alineli, bese sibuyela ke kuye uthe uzoba nathi ke kulokho. Yilokho ke mina engifisa ukuthi sikushayile kakhulu izandla ngoba sindawonye. And amakhosi asendlunkulu aphawulile la, angazi noma Nkosi yesizwe ke aphawuleka nje yokuthi ezinye izinto as-athache time frames. Kwenzeka ukuthi kodwa ayiliwele emhlabathini ovundile enliyiqiniso. So siyafuna ukulimukela ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi izinto esizixoxayo singayixoxeli nje ukuyixoxa, sixoxe sithi siyeleleke. Njengoba kuDeputy President eshilo, umhlangano wanamuhla inhloso yawo ukuthola umbiko ophelele ngemsebenzi umongameli wezwe awunikezele kule team elidwa uDeputy President no Minister uDr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Mangiceleke ukuthi siwuthole lo mbiko, sizowunikezwa platform is yours.
Ngiyabonga mphathi wehlelo. Earlier, Honorable MEC, when you introduced me as Dr. Dipofu, I began to get a lot of SMSs. But how not? Can't you got a doctorate and you don't tell us? So I said, no, I haven't reached that milestone yet. Yes, no. I receive the blessings. Thank you very much. Ngibingelele uDeputy President, uMinister wethu, sihlalo wendlu at National, Mamhlaudi, noSandi. Bingelele futhi acting premier, ama MEC onke, deputy ministers, chairperson of the Provincial House, Nkosi Shinga, Ndelu. I've also seen the immediate past chairperson of the Provincial House, Nkosi Celiza Mdungi, and of course the deputy chair of the Provincial House as well. Amakhosi wonke, officials, senior officials of government. Let me not leave out the Chief Whip, Councillor Ndukli. Thank you very much. So, presentation here too, although I had Deputy President, after you spoke about the cars and the cows and the tractors, lapha bengihlale khona, I heard Amakhosi saying, amen, umhlangano uphelile. We will still continue. And I think what we'll do, Lama work stream are the work streams that the Deputy President spoke about. Work stream are we 5, as shown there in the presentation. So each work stream, as the Deputy President Ashile, is led by a minister. So you'll see in the slides that follow that we go into detail in terms of each work stream, and then also who is leading that work stream and the work that is being done. So the background, I'll skip it because Deputy President has already spoken about it, the origin here, IMT. So work stream Yakala is this one that deals with land issues, that relates to land tenure policy. Because this issue was raised even in 2017, when there was the Indaba that was held in Ikuruleni in Gauteng. And so we show here who is responsible, we show the time frames, and we show a progress that has been made. And I think, as you can see from that column of progress, we show all the consultations that have taken place on this issue. And that all this now built up to the Land Summit that was held in May. And the work that is now going on to finalize the outcomes of that work summit and the policy work that the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development is already doing to take that work forward. So it's contained in that presentation, but to show, as the Deputy President was indicating, that this work is being taken forward. And at the top there, we show, in terms of the name of the work stream itself. The second one is this issue of CPAs, communal property associations, because this concern was raised in an area of Amakhosi, and then you have a structure called communal property association. We end up having tensions. How do you resolve that? So this one now, it was raised at the summit, and the department under Umhlonishwa Didiza are leading that process. And what they have done was to start consultations with stakeholders. So those consultations have started. There is an audit as well that they have started doing. Out of that, they will then start the review process of the act that deals with communal property associations. Still with this work stream, there is the issue that was raised about agricultural work in the areas of in traditional communities. That column just shows a whole range of things that government is doing in partnership with other stakeholders to make sure that they assist in this area. So economy listing up, it deals with this, it deals with issues of seeds, all those kinds of things as part of the ongoing work that government is taking forward. Kune Service Corp, NARISEC. Now it's continuing that program, and in the report it just indicates the numbers that they have been able to recruit. It indicates the areas where they have been working and the support that is being provided to the young people. Perhaps just two things to mention before we pass this slide is the support provided within the Presidential Economic Stimulus Package initiative, and as well as the partnership that was done together with the Solidarity Fund. So that's all of that is part of the work around supporting economic activity and social development in these areas, as indicated. And then the next one, which was raised as an area of concern, is this area that deals with mining. Deputy Minister DMRE is here with us. Amakosi raised this concern that you have mining companies, the communities don't get anything, they don't get any benefits accruing to them. So what do we do there? So having raised this issue in the work stream, where the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy is participating, they said to us, let's not move our eyes away from the social and labor plans. Because when a mining company applies, there must be a social and labor plan which indicates how the community will benefit. But the problem is that the consultation is not always as strong as it should be when the social and labor plans are developed. So that's an area of focus for them. You could see in the report, but they are focusing on awareness raising initiatives to make sure that consultations are deepened. But the other issue is that some of the companies then take advantage of the instabilities in municipalities. So they know that when they discuss this thing at Kaleni, they were talking to this cohort of leadership. But when there are changes, then they take advantage of that gap, and then non-compliance increases. So our colleagues in the work stream said that's an area of focus for them, to make sure that they issue non-compliance notices, in terms of which you have 30 days to comply. But the final issue, just to emphasize here also, is there is no reason why the social and labor plans should not be part of the DDM approach. Because if we say that this is the contribution of the private sector in this mining community, and then we say there is an approach which brings all role players together within a district, why do we then leave the social and labor plans out? Because when you do that, that's why we have this problem that the line of sight is lost. So then bring them there so that they can be monitored as part of that process. Still with this work stream, and then I think this is work stream 2 now, as Amakosi would know, is being led by a Remuneration Commission, because the Remuneration Commission makes recommendations after they've done comparative studies, finally to the President to approve. So when we spoke to them, they said, no, we are doing a comprehensive review of the remuneration and benefits of Amakosi. Initially, they had said to us they'll finish end of September. When we spoke to them, they said, no, they need a little bit of more time so that they can continue with the consultations that they want to conduct. But we said to them, we are putting that time frame of the current financial year, that we don't go beyond the current financial year without you having completed this work. So we're looking forward to those consultations that will take place in the Remuneration Commission. And then, of course, there is the issue of succession disputes. Lana Bandabezita, we continue to appeal, and it shows in the report as well, that there is a role that royal families should play, because it's going to be difficult for government to resolve. Report, we talk about work that is being done on regulations towards customary laws of succession, as well as genealogies, because we think and believe that if these are spelled out in advance, to say in this family, this is how we deal with succession. In this family, this is what the genealogy say. as opposed to having that debate every time. There must be an error that gets identified. So that work on the regulations is, as Deputy President said, there are things that national must do, there are things that province must do, but there are also things that Amakosi should do and royal families should do. And this is one of the areas where we need that assistance. Then, in this work stream, there is the issue relating to resources already, which is this thing called a handbook. The main issue was the costing of the handbook. Initially, the process we followed was that costing should happen through provinces, then they give us the information. The progress was not fast enough. So then we embarked on a process where we go to provinces, and then over a period of like 2-3 days, we sit down with the rest in KZN to do the costing exercise. There's a few other provinces that they are left with where they're working on confirmation of dates with them. But we believe that then becomes a much more concrete way, because within the work stream, they said, you can't just say approve the handbook, but then you're going to have a province that says, but we can't deal with the financial implications. Sort that part out first. But now you're capacity building, and in the report, because capacity building is ongoing, we just give examples of the training programs that are happening. They are listed there, workshops on gender-based violence and femicide, the work that is done by Sajay that Amakosi had asked for, and the new program by the National School of Government on the involvement of Amakosi in socio-economic development. It's a new program piloted in the Eastern Cape, and it's been taken to other provinces as well. And then the issue of reconstitution of traditional councils, won't spend a lot of time on this one. But these are processes that are being managed at provincial level. The concern at the time was that there was no legislation that allows the reconstitution of traditional councils. Now that it is there, the provinces have got plans to make sure that by March next year, they have reconstituted traditional councils. The issue of organogram for traditional councils was also a program that can then be tabled within the work stream for comments, and now it's within the current financial year. The work has started already. Number 6, I'll skip because it relates specifically to traditional affairs. It's an issue that, so that matter must be attended to. We just indicate that we continue to have engagements with National Treasury on this within the tight physical space that they have, and they have indicated that they will see how they will gradually assist us. The work stream said, no, you must not work on amounts, work on principles. So principle must say, there is a formula that gets used, so that a member who has finished 5 years and another one has finished 2 years only, you can't just say, okay, everyone gets the same. Because then it becomes difficult to justify. So especially Treasury within the work stream have emphasized that. So there are basic principles that have been developed, drawing from the experience of local government ex gratia, and that document is getting further input within the work stream before it is brought to the principals for further consideration. There is a big issue about with our minister. The minister always tells the story about how she traveled to Mabuza to meet the then Minister of Finance, which indeed happened. After that, a task team was established. That task team started to work on the costing of how much is owed, and the province consolidated that costing. They brought it to us and said, take it to Treasury. So in the last 3 months, 4 months, we had about 3 meetings with National Treasury to say, this is what follows from that meeting in Mabuza and what the province is asking for, and we know it's an issue for Amakosi as well. We are bringing it to you. So we had about 3 meetings. The first one was a bilateral between our department and Treasury. The second one was something that they call a sub-functional group, but they were calling other departments as well. But present this thing again, we did. Then the third one, they had a bigger of government. Then we go to the third work stream, which is led by Sports, Arts and Culture. And in this work stream, there is one of the issues relating to safety in rural communities. And SAPS is part of that work stream. And here they indicate the things that they are doing. And the anchor initiative for SAPS is the concept of traditional policing. And they indicate there how they are launching that concept, how they have started with that concept with particular traditional councils in the Eastern Cape and in Mpumalanga, and that something that they will then be rolling out in other areas as well. The report also will show that there is a focus also on recruitment of reservists, and that is ongoing. That SAPS is leading stream. But linked to that is the issue of the killing of traditional leaders, particularly in KZN. What they did in the work stream, SAPS said, no, the approach is to have this directive issued to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner, so that there's a task team that is led by the Deputy Provincial Commissioner. So what they now have a report that shows, I think, over 43 police stations. That report shows for each police station, when was the case reported, what is the case number, and where are we with investigations. And that's the report that within the workstream SAPS continue to provide to make sure from their side they are dealing with this concern as has been raised. They continue to share these reports with us with all the detail that I've just highlighted. I won't spend a lot of time on the initiation schools one. It's not a big concern, like a KZN, but just to flag that this Customary Initiation Act has at least helped to introduce structures and mechanisms through the Provincial Initiation Coordinating Committee and the National Initiation Oversight Committee to have a much more focused manner in which, with resources that can be provided, they are able to mobilize all the necessary stakeholders to enroll players to do their part. Also the issue of foreign nationals there, just to indicate there in the report what the Department of Home Affairs is reporting about their attempt to deal with foreign nationals. We'll not spend a lot of time on that. Still within this work stream, it's the issue of great places, which as the report shows, the progress that is being done there by the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. They indicate specifics in terms of this province, what is being done. So there is work that is being done in terms of the gravesite of the late King Tsetwayo, and the feasibility studies that are being done there, and then see how they take that forward. There is also the work around recognition of heroic traditional leaders. There's a long list there that I won't go through all of it, all the names that all the information that they are presenting there, but you'll see particular initiatives, particular programs, how they are dealing with the recognition, the list there, King's Kukune, Malvoro, Ngungunyane, all that information in terms of what the work stream is doing to attend to that work. But obviously part of that is also the work on the Resistance and Liberation Heritage Route Project, which identifies 3 sites per province as part of that initiative of recognizing heroic traditional leaders. Still with Workstream 3, it's really just to continue elaborating on all the activities that they are busy with around the memorial wall, and of course what is also being done in terms of the Royal House of Nkosijali, the Mahakhabe in the Eastern Cape, and those partnerships that they have. I'll just flag them as of leaders, traditional leaders. The focus here that the work stream has been working on is that of King Hintsa. and family in terms of certain specifics that they are trying to address there. There is this issue that has been raised also about relations between the House and the rest of SADC. What can be the National Khoisan Heritage Route, because as you would know, that route will connect many countries in SADC, and the Khoisan leaders are closely involved in that work, and there is progress around that work. The steering committee that has been appointed already has, with Botswana, provide further direction to say, what is the next country that we want to establish relations with, and then we can pursue that as government. Work stream 4, which deals with the infrastructure, investment and skills development. The Deputy President already spoke about the Welisizo program that the President announced. The report from the work stream is that they have already started with 24 of the bridges, and they are targeting completion end of November, and they put that work forward. And then, of course, there is the issue about infrastructure for traditional councils themselves, and this it's the work that gets done in provinces, where provinces annually identify a certain number that they will then have to be able to construct and take forward. From the work that we have been asked to do is to say, let's advise from a policy perspective. Once they are constructed, in terms of asset registers, who must they belong to? Because it was realized as a gap that it gets constructed, provincial COCTA in a province will work with public works. They construct the building, it's not on the asset register of provincial COCTA, it's not on the asset register of the municipality, it's not on the asset register of provincial public works. So what then gets done? That's why maintenance become a problem, where there are concerns that have been raised by Amakosi. There are areas that have been raised that we're going to have to find the thinking around those. So the branch of government, just to understand what the expectations are, so that as we go into implementation, there is a very clear sense of what needs to be done. So that's where the consultations will have to take place with the newly constituted House. And so the issue of the House also having a chamber in Parliament, that's to see what arrangements can be done. The problem, as Amakosi would know, with the fire that was experienced in Parliament, the issue of physical space, they just continue to be a problem at the moment. But it has not been dropped. It will continue to be pursued. The ceremonies such as State of the Province address, just as you have other people accompanying the Premier at national level as well, we will take that up in terms of national, but at the provincial level, that is something that the province should assist with. A proposal in terms of the traditional leaders being part of state boards. Again, here, this is really another area, because the issue of people becoming state boards is a particular process that is being followed, but it requires further consultations with the leadership of the House so that the expectations can be clarified further. The one on which will take a little bit longer is on the powers and functions, where the request was Chapter 7, 12 of the Constitution will need to be reviewed to consider giving more powers to traditional leaders. Work has been done in this area, but there's a lot of consultations that need to take place first because of the profound implications of this particular activity. There is another issue where it was raised about changing the rules when it comes to election in the houses. And we are flagging it there. We are saying provinces should please assist with that, because those matters are not stipulated necessarily at the national level. In national legislation, they are being dealt with at provincial level. The popular one is the Traditional Courts Bill. It's been going around for a long time, where there was concern that that not allow Amakosi to do their work when it comes to presiding over disputes. So finally, the report can be indicating there that it has been passed by the National Assembly, So it's now submitted to the President for assent. So we are hopeful that we can finally tick this one off and say this long outstanding issue about traditional courts bill has been resolved. I must just emphasize that concern about Spluma as well, that concern about Spluma is part of the work that emanates from the Land Summit and as part of the outcomes that are being finalized for consideration by Cabinet. It is one of the issues that is listed there. These others, we are targeting legality there that we are looking into to get advice in terms of what the TKLA section 29 in terms of section 81 of the Municipal Structures Act. We know one of the concerns that has been raised by Amakos is that the number is small. But we just want to mobilize further discussions around this so that if ever there are going to be changes, they are not piecemeal. We must then understand the totality of concerns that are there about section 81 of the Municipal Structures Act, after which then work can be taken forward in terms of proposals for changes that need to be effected. That's the progress report, Your Excellency Deputy President, and thank you very much, Honorable MEC, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give the Director General a big round of applause. Siyabonga. That is then the report that the team has compiled a comprehensive response on issues that the Interministerial Committee is leading. May we then move and just few issues before we proceed with the program. The first is to acknowledge the presence of Indlunkulu. I think Konumtwana Simpiwe, who is among us, and we want to appreciate Sikbonge ukubakhona kwendlunkulu uma sixoxa izinto ezifana nalezi. The second is that we will call upon the provincial chairperson of the House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders. He will speak, and after his speech, he will then call the national chairperson or the chairperson of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Nkosikazi Mhlawuli. Thereafter, we will move to the interactive session. And for now, let me call the provincial chairperson of the KwaZulu Natal Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Inkosi R.S. Shinga. Nkosi yesizwe, the platform is yours.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Khuzeni mphathi ohlelo ngibingelele usekela mongameli wezwe lakithi laseNingizimu Afrika ubaba uDidi Mabuza ngibingelele umama uDokotela uNkosazana Dlamini Zuma ngqongqoshe womnyango wethu wezokubusa nokubambisana ngibingelele uMEC wethu womnyango wezolimo osibambele isihlalo sokuba undunankulu umama uSithole Moloyi bomdabo umama umhlawuli. Ngibingelele uDeputy Chair wethu wendlu yakithi yesifundazwe inkosi NSW Sithole. Ngibingelele ungqongqoshe usekela ngqongqoshe uSikwatsha womnyango wezolimo nomhlaba. Ngibingelele Deputy Minister, so Deputy Minister wa DMRE, uDokotela uNkabane, MEC we Sports, Arts and Culture, uMabubani Mapena, MEC wezokuhlaliswana komphakathi no Public Works, uDokotela N Mahlaba, usoswepu wedolobha iTheku, umntwana waseNdlunkulu uSimphiwe omele isilo samabandla lapha endlini yethu, executive committee yendlu yobuholi bomdabu, amakhosi wonke nozihlalo bama local houses abakhona phakathi kwethu, umqondisi jikelele uDokotela Nonhlanhla Mkhize wesifundazwe, umqondisi jikelele womnyango wezokubusa nokubambisana kwa Traditional Affairs ubaba uDiphofo kade esithulela isethulo, ibo bonke abasebenzi bezezindaba abakhona phakathi kwethu, sanibonani nonke namhlanje. Ngithokoza kakhulu ukuthola leli thuba lokuthi ngizoma lapha kulesi sikhathi esikuso njengamanje. Ngifikela ukuthi ongathi umsebenzi usuphelile besohlelile ukuthi sizokhuluma, kodwa kona konke usekwenze konke. Sibonga kakhulu ke bakwethu ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi osukwini namhlanje sibe no mhlonishwa usekela mongameli, siyamazi lapho phuma khona ekade sewundunankulu, wasiphatha kahle isifundazwe ikakhulukazi ngoba wayephethe kahle namakhosi. Amakhosi asempumalanga akawuvala umlomo ukuthi azahlala kamnandi. Konke kusukele ekutheni usekela mongameli uye waqala yonke lento, nabalandelayo sebeqhubeka lapho usekela mongameli aqala khona. Sikubonga kakhulu ke nathi ukuthi sibe nomholi osezingeni eliphezulu onohlonze njengaye namhlanje sivakashele, ngoba amakhosi aseNdlunkulu siyathemba ukuthi cha okuningi sizokubona nibe singazi ukuthi kuyoze kulunge. Sinethemba namhlanje sikuzolunga. Ethu sonke siyanamukela siyindlu yobuholi bomdabu KwaZulu Natal. 3 months since the Provincial House of KwaZulu Natal reconstituted and elected this leadership to steer the ship towards a more transformed institution of traditional leadership. Kukhona la endlini lapho sasikhetha khona lobuholi. That long-standing issues which most predate the 1994 democratic breakthrough. As such, our leadership commits to continue with the fight to realize transformed traditional communities. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Act 108 of 1996, through Chapter 12, recognizes the institution of traditional leadership and makes provision for the national and provincial legislation to be enacted to provide for the roles and responsibilities of the institution of traditional leadership at all local levels. Traditional leadership is amongst the critical social partners to the social transformation agenda that carries a huge responsibility in creating a conducive environment in traditional communities for the welfare of their subjects and their development economically.
It goes without saying that the areas of Amakhosi still remain amongst the highest hit by unemployment, inequality and poverty, wherein development is largely reserved for the previously advantaged sections of our society. The rural areas remain underdeveloped and hence the influx in cities leaving areas of Amakhosi destitute and impoverished. We remain committed to the development of our communities and in advancing for social change through land agrarian reform, social development and economic transformation of the rural sections of our society. Our experienced Deputy President, whilst we acknowledge this platform, is that the engagements held with government are simply for us to talk, for the government to respond and make commitments, close their files and shelve them in a cabinet, and then after a few years, convene similar platforms for us to further the talks about talks. The President will change and the ministers as well, who in their term also repeat the cycle and start afresh as if nothing was ever done. The 2017 Indaba hosted at the Beachwood Hotel presented such a platform where a number of critical resolutions were taken. Following that, the 2018 Lekgotla, 2019 Chivitso, and the 2020 midterm review reaffirmed the 2017 Indaba resolutions. This therefore means that the issues affecting the institution are well known. However, a decisive leadership is needed to realize their implementation. Our people are dying of poverty and unemployment. In our communities, there's poor health care, poor road infrastructure, and access to water and sanitation. Whilst all the above are realities we face, we do acknowledge the post-1994 health care systems. In order to change the tide, we do require more decisive action and to work together with us in implementing our Invest Rural Master Plan, which is scheduled for the official launch in the 2022-23 financial year. The Provincial House will as well on the 11th to the 13th November 2022 host its first ever strategic planning session, which council members who will have a significant role to play and further the ministers for culture and also for agriculture, land reform and rural development. This is further to synergize the work carried through by Amakhosi in attempts to develop their areas and also the plans of government as such, living up to the district development model. We must, together with government, fight against the killings of Amakhosi and Izinduna, as it has been one of the major issues affecting the sector in the province. Leo bahlonishwa isiphethe kabi kakhulu iyasigulisa sonke ngoba awazi ukuthi ubani, and kukhona ne-incidents ebuhlungu kakhulu eyenzekayo in the South Coast ebukhosini bakwanyuswa lapho kwa kidnapper khona owayebamba isihlalo sobukhosi khona esingakamtholi namhlanje, and it followed ngokuthi kufe kubulawa abanye futhi amalunga omndeni alobo bukhosi. Kusibhlungu kakhulu ngale sekela mongameli asazi ukuthi yipi indlela engenzeka ukuze sibanjwe lesi simo singakwazi ukuthi siqhubeke ngendlela esiqhubeka ngayo. Sisiphethe kabuhlungu kakhulu. Another issue is the back pay of Izinduna as one of a long-standing matter, which is consistently referred to the national government And now that we are all under the same roof, we are hopeful that this will be dealt with and clear timeframes and its resolution be established. The TC secretaries remain the bedrock of for the sustainable functioning of the traditional communities, and yet they merely earn a stipend far below that of the set minimum wage. Kudabukisa kakhulu futhi lokho kuyichilo kuyihlazo elikhulu ukuthi izingane zabantu ezisebenza kangaka kuba ukuthi nje kubongathi asubona umsebenzi wazo yethu ubumkhulu kangaka silapha nje singamakhosi okuyibona abantu abaqhubha imikhandlu emakhaya nabanikeza abantu ama services amakhosi ibona labantu laba bangonobhala bethu esifisayo ukuthi nabo udaba lwabo lusheshe lufakelwe izibuko ukuze kungabe zekonakale kakhulu. All these issues and many others which will be raised by Amakosi remain a thorn in the work carried out by Amakosi and weakens the capacity of the institution in being the agent for social change. In conclusion, Deputy President, in doing away with the talks and talks about talk, this meeting should come out with clear, decisive interventions with set out in time frames and responsibility champions. Further to this, there should be established consequent measures a step towards the right direction and bring hope to the sector. On the same token, we cannot simply celebrate rubbing shoulders with government without a clear outcome-based approach to the long-standing challenges facing you.
Siyabonga. Siyabonga kakhulu kusihlalo inkosi Ushinga. Siyabonga Nkosi yesizwe. Without waste of any time, may I then request that we proceed, and I'll call upon the chairperson of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Inkosi Nkosikazi Mhlawuli. May we all stand up to welcome her to speak to us.
Ningahlala phansi. Mphathi wenkqubo okokuqala mandibulele imbeko endiyenzelwa yile ntlanganiso yokuma ngenyawo. Umuntu mayiphakamela akaphakameli wena, uphakamela isihlalo sakho osinikiwe. Ndingaze ndithi ke ngenye ilanga mase ndiphumle kwesi sihlalo ndilindele ukuthi niphakamele. Ngifane nela esile lalihamba noJesu. La kwamane kusendlalwa. Ngoma selibuya lodwa alondlalelwa. La bheka kanti bengabekondlalelwa lona besondlalela uJesu. Wesilo okhona phakathi kwethu uNdlunkulu. Andizungena kakhulu ukubingelela wonke umuntu ngoba uchairperson weprovince enenzele kahle kakhulu ngoba injongo kuba nifumane isikhathi sokukhuluma ngoba sizokhuluma apha sizothetha kodwa Sekela Mongameli nesigqeba sakho sonke nabo bonke abantu abakhokheleyo silapha sonke. Mnandi ngomnye weteam ehamba nomongameli. Namhlanje makhosi aseNdlunkulu andizokhala apha phambi khale nani Mna mfama ndiyacela ukuthi ndenzani ngoba nindithumile. Kodwa ke sendibonile uba kwenzekile umsebenzi wami. Usihlalo ugqiba kutsho apho uthi akayazi into makayithethe. Ngoba apha bekunamalunga ebephuma kule province, representing the province at national. Niwathumela banikhulumele. Niphinde kwakhona nibe ne-leadership ebeyikhona ikhokelwa nguNkosi uChiliza ebesihlangana nayo is either virtual nakwenye ku-Chairpersons Forum. Bebethetha lento benibathume yona. Akunawuze ukuthi ngoma sesilapha sibe ngathi siqala phansi ukuthetha. Sibhekisa phansi inkulumo. Siqale noma ubukhokheli besilo esesikhothamile apha. Khumbula ngenye ilanga mphathiswa Dr. Dlamini Zuma sikwi-TB Day. Isilo sikhona. Uzophakama ingane nje buye Eastern Cape itsho ithi mayithetha iza ke ibiza igama lakhe. Wayekhona Nkosi uChiliza. Ibiza igama lakhe ingazi ukuthi ibiza igama lesilo. Washuba endlini. Ingane ibizile igama ndabheka njengomzali. Ndabheka kuNkosi uChiliza ndathi Nkosi ngicela uthetha. Ndaphakama njengomzali ndaxolisa. Phendula kwaso isilo. Sathi nikumama wesizwe athethe. Ngelo xesha ndingusekela ndingunkosi nje oku-National House. Wathi mina kumama wesizwe makathethe. Wathi le ngane ndiyayixolela ngoba sekuthethe umama. Le nto ndiyithetha ndizama ubonisa inhlonipho yobukhosi komama ukuqala phezulu kukwisilo apha eprovincini. Sisebenzile ke nani makhosi ngoba besebenza kuqala ku-COVID-19 ndizawubonga kakhulu mabesebenza Solidarity Fund. Mandicela information kuni zange ndasokola kakhulu makhosi kakhulu ngokusebenza nani nisebenza nama-officials ale province. Siphinde kwakhona zininzi izinto esisebenze kuzo kodwa as custodians of culture and customs thina kufanele ukuthi ke ngoku lamasiko wethu siyawakhusela ngoba sithi eMzantsi Afrika sinikwe lo msebenzi ngokwe-constitution basingabakhusela bamasiko nezithethe. Ukukhusela kwethu ke kuzakwenza nokuthi siwabheke nalana anabantu abacinezelayo bangaba kuthiwa kukho isiko elithize Eastern Cape nakwindawo ethile nethile province ethile ebonakala licinezela abesifazane nabantwana nabanye abantu abaquka abantu abakhubazekileyo. Siwabheke lo masiko ngoba kuzothi umsebenzi wethu asiwenzi. Mase sibona kuhlukunyezwa kuthwala abantwana kusenziwa nezinye izinto khona abanye ababulala abantu banebala elimhlophe ababizwa ngoba ze-albinos benza ngawo amayezi izinto okufanele bazonke ezinkosi kodwa apha kule province bendinibone kula program yenu ka-social cohesion ne-nation building beyikhona beniyibhekile. So ndiza kule msebenzi le-premier isofisini yakho i-moral regeneration movement apho izawusincedisa nakhona ukudilishana nezinye izinto apha ezingahambi kakuhle. Mayivuke lana sika-MRM isebenza kunye namakhosi nabanye abantu abasebenza nabo. Apha makhosi sinemsebenzi omkhulu. We need to look at the issues of families, ifamily. Sibona ifamily siziqinisa njani na phaya ezantsi apho sihleli khona. Ngoba umzekelo uba uzothi isiko lolwaluko kulapho kufundiswa khona umntwana obudoda. Le 17 years ufundiswa phi ngubani ma wena ungu-street father, ungu-street mother, ungu-street granny, ungu-street malume ngoba andithi wena uhleli njena nasendlini ujongene nefone akukho muntu uthethayo endlini. Nonke ningo-street ntonto ningu-street family nonke because akukho muntu wesebenza irole yakhe. Ndize kuyinto ye-claims and disputes makhosi. Claims and disputes zobukhosi ziyayimosha into ye-development. is affecting issues of development. Makungahlanganwanga bebukhosini, asoze kuhlangana esizweni. I was just sharing no minister ngokuthi this yesterday one of desingene emotweni isden ngosifazana kune claim can dispute phakathi kwesizwe sakhe makunjalo ke ngoku when the two kodwa nathi masilungise into zomlando wethu sinengendlela into ye secretaries hayi ngizayiphinda bendithethile kwenye ikona Mdunge ndathi this province I remember very well kudala ndikhona I've been there at National House is the one eyathi yona no masithi let's absorb i-department absorb the secretaries yathi le province no once ba absorbwe abazuhlonipha amakhosi bazosibona befree kakhulu. I remember very well ndandikhona le into ndiyayazi I was there. So come together as amakhosi nalapha nibone ukuthi ngabantwana babantu aba they need babe supportekile bazosebenza kahle kodwa nabo mos bazawuzazi into yokuba in fact our offices abazoreportwa kuzo mabengasebenzi kahle like any other official instead bakuthiwe hayi abazukwazi bana baabsorbe ngoba bazuhlonipha mengahloniphi khona ioffice yokumreport ngoba bazi head of families. So ke sizawuva nganye apha kodwa ke lingeni livelile pha besifumene umcimbi wezinduna nawo uzawuphendula kodwa nawo ubungenini kodwa let's say now makhosi let's clap our hands for this term siphuma kuyo bekufanele ba ihouse reconstitute national house kodwa based on umthetho okhoyo othi abesifazana ukwi-provinces befana sina 8 members at national kwi-provinces engakhazi baziphumula besifazana so imile ngoku ayikwazi ukuthi reconstitute ngenxa yoba i-provinces azisabasanga besifazana kodwa ke ngoku kuba ezinye zine-challenges ezinayo uminister has written to you as provinces uba niphendula noko angayivuma le threshold lowa threshold engu-5 so ke makhosi nina nizawuphendula apho nikhalise niphendule yonke into efuna uphendulwa phaya i-achievements sikwazile uba nethikeli emakhosi kule term lesiphuma kuyo i-achievement masizijonge singajonge into zodwa sayifumani saba nayo i-land summit andithi makhosi benikhona siyavana sawugqiba sanale dialogue wathetha ngayo u-DP up leyo kuphume as work streams zizinto eziachieve kule term le ezo nale ke ngokuyopasiswa kwale bill ekuzawusheka isheka nje bisayino ngumongameli ze-achievements ezo when we take over as ulinye leader kwenye just thatha ibaton ubheke phambili because uzobona more achievements rather than uba uthi le nto ibingakhokhelwa ndim kodwa singazilibalanga i-values of ubuntu apho you'll be able to think about sharing apho uzoba kude nento ye-corruption because i-corruption goes together with nento yoba selfish usijonge wena wedwa apho uzawukwazi uba wenze into ngokwe-quantity zibe ningi ungayijonganga i-quality uba le nto injani izawuba njani udlulise njena so zizinto funa sibuyele kuzo ezobuntu i-values of ubuntu ne-cultural practices zethu sizisebenzise ngendlela eyiyo for economic development kwakhona seyithetha ke ngunkosi ukushinga ezinye izinto kusi-straight plan is very key makhosi kulapho nitsho khona uba nizawuya njani inento ye-time frames nam ndiyabhiliva kwinto ye-time frames make sure that niyasebenzela into yokuthi abantwana bethu ze bangasithuki kwixesha elizayo bazawungena ebukhosini mababone nje i-achievements and asathethi ngathi sodwa ngoku we are talking also about communities. That's why we have got Invest Rural because asifuna ubona sithetha ngeziqu zethu sibubukhosi. Siyabonga program director.
Bonga kakhulu. We now are going to move into a closed session. And in a closed session, we always request the media to be excused so that we will then remain as a family, the inner core of the family. May I then request that the media be released for now